You would think that this David situation wouldn't get worse, but I'm telling you, every time I see something new about this whole David situation, bro, it just keeps getting worse, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got ourselves new David timeline proves Celeste's family helped him hide his crimes. What? Is that true? There's no way this is true, bro. I mean, they must have known that she was with him, was with David the whole time, but like, bro, are we joking, bro? Like, this isn't a joke, right? Like,
people are finally addressing the big elephant in the room when it comes to this David and Celeste murder investigation, and that's Celeste's parents, Celeste's family. See, Nancy
right.
Grace went scorched earth on Celeste's family earlier today, and then the private investigator, Steve Fisher, did an interview with Jadion where he sort of revealed some sketchy things involving Celeste's family as well.
What are you saying, Dave Mack? What are you saying till we find out what the next step is going to be?
Well, if anything, the family knew and he was paying them off, bro. That has to be it. There's no way.
The next step is an indictment. That's the next step. The long dead body of this little girl found in D4VD David Anthony Burke's Tesla, found one
my
day
God, dude.
after she would have turned 15. She
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
13 years old in the 7th grade when her family reported her missing. She was with D4VD, and after that, they never said another word. Nothing. Where have they been all this time? Why are we the only ones banging the drum, demanding justice? Brian Fitzgibbons, this is very odd behavior on the parents' part.
The only thing I could think of is they probably got paid off, like, by David or some shit. That's like that's what it looks like, you know. It could be that they did give up searching after her, but I just don't find that being the case, bro. I don't see that being the case.
Never issuing a public plea, never thanking the LAPD for finding their girl, never demanding justice. I'd be laying on the front steps of the courthouse screaming for justice. Nothing. Radio silent. And now an indictment is set to go down, and they're what? What? Where are they?
Yeah, it's incomprehensible, the fact that there hasn't been a large outcry from her family.
Fair point, but also unfair. Now, grief come in different ways. People grieve
True.
in different ways.
Yeah, they're probably going through it, they probably don't want to be all up in the internet and in the world and shit. So I can see that. That's like my thing. That's the thing though. Like, it has to be like either they knew and they just stopped caring, or like they knew and there was not much they could do about it. Like, they got silenced or some shit. Got paid. I don't know, bro. This situation, I don't get this, bro.
I'm personally not at the stage yet where I have enough information to where I'm ready to go complete scorched earth on the family, but they did make some fair points. When Celeste's body was first discovered, the mom gave a statement to the police, and the mom says that she had a boyfriend named David. So that would show they was aware of the relationship with Celeste and David. Now, were they aware how old David was? Were they aware? The mom used the term boyfriend. I'm using the term victim. Celeste was David's victim, right? David was Celeste's perpetrator.
There's no way they had not known that he was over the age of 18. There's just no way. Like, unless she like completely cut contact with them or some shit like that, but I don't know, man.
I don't consider this a relationship, right? She was groomed. But if the family knew David's age and they knew that Celeste was involved in a relationship with David, lock all of them up. Lock them all up. We've seen this exact same play with R. Kelly. Moms and parents were bringing their underage kids to R. Kelly and allowing R. Kelly to be with them because they wanted to benefit financially from it. So if this is
if that's what it is, that is so fucking cringe, bro. That is so cringe, bro. That is so cringe. That's actually cringe as fuck. Actually, genuinely cringe. Like, selling out your own, like, kids to, like, celebrities and shit is insane to me. What the fuck is going on over there?
What went on? Lock up all of them and arrest them all, but we don't know that yet. We don't know the
Let's not jump to conclusions, you know.
full details yet. So we have to reserve our judgment. Now, Steve Fisher spoke on the family, and I'll be real, Steve Fisher said a lot without fully getting to where he wanted to go. So the first red flag that popped up in my head that really stuck out, Steve Fisher said initially LAPD was putting out statements like, we don't know if this is a murder or a homicide. This could have very well been just, concealing the body inappropriately. Celeste could have died on her own, and then they just panicked and hide the body. We don't know yet. So the homeowner stepped in, right? The house that David was renting.
I mean, I think it's 100% murder because it's like you had that body in the car for a year, bro. Like, shit. I mean, there's also the part where like his like the secret relationship would get exposed, but
They stepped in and they hired Steve Fisher, the private investigator. Steve Fisher, who was tasked with discovering whether or not Celeste was murdered or if she took her own life, contacted the family. And according to Steve Fisher, he contacted the family, but it was almost impossible to get in touch with them, right? And
I mean, it could just be that like they don't want to talk about it, right? It could just be that too, right?
Felt like he was badgering them at some point and he just stopped. I don't know any family who wouldn't be super receptive to any help they can get from a private investigator if the police is putting out information of she may not have been murdered, she may have, done it to herself. And then a private investigator saying, hey, I'm here to investigate whether or not she was murdered. I don't know any family that wouldn't be receptive to that help. But apparently Celeste's family wasn't too receptive.
Celeste's family never got in touch with you to find her before. The only reason why you got involved was because the owners of the house had cops coming through their house investigating stuff and they just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, no, I've never been in touch with her family. I've tried. I didn't want to push them hard though, so I haven't really followed up more. But yeah, so the owners were very it's
WGD, bro.
Never had anything to do with value of the house or loss of value or anything. It's had to do with they wanted to understand what happened there because they have kids around that age and they wanted to know if on even a spiritual level if they could go back in that house. It was really hard for them to fathom, if it happened there or even in fact even if it didn't happen there, just the fact that it's tied to it. Yeah. They have some real decisions to make and they're from out of the country, and so they don't really understand the laws and everything. So they said, listen, we want to find out what happened. They wanted to know what the truth was and they wanted to make sure that Celeste, got justice if she needed to get justice. Because remember at that time too, they're telling us there might not be any crime here beyond concealment of a body, which was never true. I don't know why LAPD came out and said that, but they were making it sound like this might have been like an overdose or something, and they made a bad decision. There was nothing like that. It was never anything like that.
That don't even make sense. Like
this was a guy who's a predator. I don't know why it took this long to get where we're at. I'm glad there's finally appears justice is coming, and it doesn't seem like there was this real urge. It wasn't like maybe the
sense of urgency.
Yes, yeah.
These are questions, not accusations, until we know more information or until we know certain things are facts. But why wouldn't the family want to get involved or want to meet or want to be in touch with somebody who's trying to get their daughter justice? Especially if the police is at this point saying, we don't know if it's a murder investigation, and the private investigator is saying, I'm going to find out and prove it's a murder. Why wouldn't you want to get involved with to me, it doesn't make no sense whatsoever.
Regardless if it was a murder or not, it doesn't make sense, bro. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't fucking make sense.
However, it's inconsistent with what we would expect.
You could make the argument like maybe they just want to be left alone. Maybe they're grieving. Maybe they just don't want to talk about it. Right? Maybe right? I get that, cool, whatever. But not wanting more help from a private investigator for free, my nigga, for free. Come on, bro.
From a grieving family, right? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Now, the part that really tripped me out is, and this is more proof that this relationship with Celeste and David was not a secret, was somebody from Celeste's school or near the school or association with the school from their little community When she first went missing, somebody contacted David's management and let them know, hey, there's rumors that your artist is involved with her being missing. Please return her back to her family.
But it was no secret that she was with him. In fact, somebody close to
We know that because David was going around paying off people like, hey, like keep this on the low, like, you know, I'll pay you this, just, you know, stay quiet, like that kind of shit, which is insane to me. Like I would have taken the money and exposed this dumb ass nigga.
the situation,
I would, you
her
know,
family, the school where she was going, wrote his management by email and said, you know, paraphrasing it, there's a rumor that David might be involved in the disappearance of 13-year-old, you know, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. If that's true, please make sure she gets home quickly. And she got home. She arrived the next day. And that email was received by his management company, and they did send it to him. I have proof of that. He was aware of it. So then she arrives back home, but then she runs away again. He was grooming her. He's a predator.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not
Without the murder or not,
the only
like,
girl he was involved with that was underage. When Celeste ran away on Valentine's Day, she showed up in the area.
bro, think about that. 13-year-old girl runs away on Valentine's Day, bro. Bro. No, that's actually crazy. Like, she's too young to be doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit's crazy. Oh man, bro.
This is the exact same day that they're actually taking possession of the new house that they.
By the way, you can't be in a. I know I keep on saying like, oh, they were in a secret relationship, like, you know, but you can't fuck a child. You can't, you know, you can't do that. You can R-word them, you know, right? Like, not saying you should. I'm not saying that's allowed. Don't twist my words. Don't do none of that. No, that's not what I mean. But like, you can't. That's any sexual affection you give to an underage, anybody, any guy, girl, is automatically R words, automatically assault. You know what I'm saying? At that
They
point,
ran in my client's house.
Yes, sir.
Of course, my client doesn't. My client thinks it's Josh Marshall, his manager, but they take possession of it. So on that day, he's got Celeste runs away that day, and she's at the old house, the one where they did that live stream, delete everything, and he's got another minor at the new house, a mile and a half away, and I've got pictures of that. So
that boy was going. That boy menace to society. He was going to turn into the next Diddy 2.0.
So
that can be.
This is kind of all new about there being like a new minor. If you can reveal, how old was this other minor?
Why do these people think they can get away with this shit and people are not gonna question them eventually? Like, I don't fucking get it, bro.
That David was dealing with.
She was 16 and 17.
She was 16.
This was going on for a while.
Celeste and David was not a secret. If somebody who has some type of affiliation with Celeste's school knew, don't you think the parents would know as well? And if the parents knew, why is there no reports of the parents talking to the police about David and Celeste? Why is there nothing that's coming out where, hey, brother, parents been reported David for being inappropriate with their daughter? Now, Steve Fisher was
Because they were paid off.
say that the parents were reporting Celeste as a
Or they're just terrible fucking parents, but I mean, same fucking thing, but you know.
missing kid to cover their tracks from his perspective, because she was never really missing. They knew exactly where she was at, and she would come and go. Like, she would come for like family events and then leave and be with David and be on tour and you know, and be with him for months on end. So was she really?
What the fuck even? Like think about a grown ass man bringing a fucking child to his tours and shit. Whole ass fucking secret, bro. Bro, that is so fucking insane to me, bro.
If they knew where she was and she was coming back and forth.
David forgot that he adult. He not a child no more, bro.
No, she wouldn't be a missing child. So why was she reported missing and they kept her as a missing child? According to Steve Fisher, he believes that that's because, you know, that's to get CPS from off their tracks, to get the school from off their tracks. Because if she's not reported missing, well, CPS in the school is asking, why is she not at school? Why is she not present? Why haven't we heard from her, right? And that would have started more issues.
To the timeline, so I didn't know this. So it was January 2025 when that live stream happened, or 2024?
She'd been gone well over a year when this was going down. I believe that live stream was 2024, January 2024. Then she starts, then in February, is when and then there's runaways, and then,
Right.
getting into around Valentine's Day, she runs away again. And then
That's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. 13-year-old girl running away to a grown-ass man on Valentine's Day, bro. Do you know how fucking diabolical that fucking shit sounds? Like, do you know how insane that fucking sounds?
it's a year. It's well over a year that she's gone before we now know that this happened, according to prosecutors, in April of 2025. So she's gone a very long time. And that's been the whole thing, is piecing this together. Where exactly was she? Because we didn't really have evidence that we had evidence that she had been to the house, but not that she was like living at the house. And David would travel a lot for concerts or whatever, and nobody would stay there. So we're like, where was she in all this time? And then we find out that she wasn't truly a runaway. That's the part that's upsetting to me too, is that her family knew where she was, and
Oh, yeah.
she'd shown up for like
That's
her
crazy.
cousin's high school graduation.
That's so fucking sick.
She showed up at a family event. There's a
The parents need, and like, god damn, bro.
video out there of her arguing with the next door neighbors in the apartment complex next to her house, all while she's supposedly a missing person. Our high school graduation, she showed up at a family event. There's a video out there of her arguing with the next door neighbors in the apartment complex next.
Oh, nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. Bruh, she was groomed, taken advantage of practically fucking brainwashed, bro. I'm just gonna say it, bro. She had to have been brainwashed by people like David, bro. It's so sad, bro. It's so sad. And worst case in the worst case scenario happened, she ended up getting murdered and fucking tossed to the fucking side,
To her
bro.
house, all while she's supposedly a missing person. And so it's all very frustrating. There's a lot of things, a lot of failures around her, and I understand.
Yeah.
She's probably a handful. I get that, but the thing is, she's a kid. That's part
They don't mean shit.
of being a
Oh, she's a handful. She'll be fine. With that guy that's dating an underage girl, that's my daughter. Like, what the fuck is you?
parent.
Come on, bro.
She needed direction. She needed like a direction in life, and it's not okay. They knew who he was, and
Bro, you think about it? They gave up on her, bro. They straight up just gave up on her ass. Sorry, I keep on hitting that. It's a little, sorry. It's a little addicting when you get one of these like stream decks when you push the button. I know some of y'all getting annoyed by the effects and shit, but like that shit is satisfying to hit. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
it's just, I don't care how rich he is. I don't
I
care
don't
how famous
care.
he's becoming. I
I
don't
don't
care
care.
he's living in a mansion.
I don't
and
care.
He can afford to support her. It's not okay.
Make no mistake about it. If that's true, they should 100% be in the next cell next to David. We
Right.
see this with R. Kelly, but just like R. Kelly, the parents are never held accountable if this is true. Right? With R. Kelly, R. Kelly got arrested. The women came out and they said, oh, mom dropped me off to R. Kelly. My mom was the one who arranged this. The parents never got picked up, right? Because the police
Right.
don't usually go after parents, because usually the parents
They should though. They should be going after the parents though. It just don't make sense why they don't go after the parents.
are a crucial part of the investigation. In this situation, it's just hard for me to imagine that this little girl was missing for a year plus. And if she was with David for a year plus and the police never got involved, the police never went to David, and right, and the mom knew her quote unquote boyfriend was David, and they never told the police, hey, she's at David.
They was getting money from him.
David,
There's no
go ahead
way.
and get her. But as we've seen, she was going back.
Well, I mean, we don't know if they were getting money. They could have just straight up just stopped giving a fuck about her, bro. They just oh, she's a handful. We give up. It could have just been that too, bro, which is still pathetic.
Before we got the video of her arguing with her neighbors, and that was like months after she was reported missing. So Steve Fisher is telling the truth, and in regards to they seen her go back and forth after she was reported missing. But if they intentionally reported her missing, so the police and the school system and CPS can get off of their tail for her not being at school and doing certain, man, we got to start having some tougher conversations here, man.
Listen, I agree. The parents need to be held accountable.
I was just about to ask that, because one thing about the parents is, usually they don't always.
it doesn't matter if they were like if they were super involved or they weren't as involved. The fact that they knew they should be held liable just because of that. You know, it
Have
doesn't
to
matter.
say something. You know what I mean? You know, the
You know what I
family
mean?
has
Like,
to grieve. But I feel like this is one of those cases where the only like statement I know that's out there is that the mother just said that she had a boyfriend named David. That's like the only statement from the
Yeah.
family that I've ever heard that is verified from them. So my question
Yeah.
was gonna be like, do you think the family is as quiet as they are because they knew who David was and they knew who she was going to, and you
Yep.
don't
oh
really
yeah.
see too much of an intervention between them?
I mean, yes, I have proof that family members have been to that rental house before. Have been with David and Celeste.
Wait, her
Older
family has been to his
family
house?
family members. Like I have. Listen, one of the first things I put down in this case was a build. We know that David and Celeste were at Six Flags
This is fucking mind-boggling, bro.
on a certain date, and we found a Build-A-Bear
No amount. Oh wait, let him talk.
certificate from the Build-A-Bear place in Six Flags in her cousin's name at the house. You know, so it's like, wait a minute.
Wow.
So she wasn't really missing. The missing, you know what? You want to know, in my opinion, what the missing persons report was about? It was to cover their ass so CPS didn't come in and say, "Hey, she's not going to school.
Yeah.
What's up?"
That's so
If
pathetic.
she's a missing person, you say
That's
she's
so
not going to
fucking
school because she's a
pathetic.
missing person. You know, then you don't have CPS in your life at that moment. You know, and I listen. I sympathize. I guarantee. I know that they are. I know that they're grieving. I know they lost a daughter, but
Yeah,
God
it
damn,
does.
like it's
All for
you
what?
couldn't. She shouldn't have been allowed to be.
It does. It does. Like they could have prevented all this if they actually stepped up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's so crazy, bro. That's so crazy. That's so stupid of these people to fucking allow this shit to happen, bro.
She was gone a year and a half, man. And she like a year and a half. Like somebody should have said, you know, maybe we shouldn't be letting Celeste live her own life like this. I don't care how much money he has, how famous he is. Maybe in some cultures they don't think that's that huge of an age gap. I don't care. That these are the laws that you've agreed to live under, and
Yeah.
she's 14. You know, she was not 15 like it says on her death certificate. She turned 15 the day before she was found in the Tesla. She'd been in that Tesla a long time. She was 13 and 14 years old when this was happening.
Grown family members are showing up to David's mansion where Celeste be at. They're well aware this grown man with a
Grown-ass
mansion is hanging
man.
out with a 13-year-old.
Grown ass man.
You know, they think it's normal, and they're hanging out, and they're not saying nothing. David is pulling up with his Tesla at Celeste's crib to pick her up.
Grown ass man. Like.
Know this. Yo, fam, if a dude, first off, you don't even gotta know the age. If a dude who is driving a Tesla is pulling up to pick up your 13-year-old daughter, you know what you do? You call the police. But yet we'll be the bad people for asking. This don't sound right.
Nah,
Y'all let me know what
nah, this ain't fucking right at all, bro. This ain't right. They knew, bro. They fucking knew, bro. I'm gonna end it right here, but they knew for sure. There's no way, bro. There's no way, man. That's so sad, man. That's so man. Society failed her, bro. Like, just keep it being. Society failed Celeste, bro. Like, society failed her, and because society failed her, she ended up having to lose her life to a piece of shit guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That got the wealth, the clout, the families that sat back and did nothing, right? Like, or barely anything. It's just pathetic, bro. But I hope you have a good breakfast, a good dinner, and good night, man, bro. I love y'all, man, bro. Peace.